Have you ever set a goal in life and wanted it to happen so badly, and when it doesn't, you sort of just move on? Like maybe you wanted to have the most incredible relationship or make hundreds of thousands of dollars a year or really shift your body, shape your body into that beautiful physique that you've always wanted. And then once it didn't happen, you sort of let go of the goal and moved on. Hi, I'm David Essel, and of course, slowing down is the key, I believe, that I've found over the last 25 years of doing this work, one-on-one with people, with groups, etc. And I want to share a story today about how following my own advice, which oftentimes I do not, I want to be first to tell you that, led to this amazing breakthrough and led to the book Slow Down with Hay House, The Fastest Way to Get Everything You Want. This is probably now 10 years ago. I had this amazing goal. I had already published several books, and I had a children's book out and a couple other books, and I had written this one book, and it was my first novel that I was really excited about. And I'm going through and writing, and I'm trying to think of who I'm going to send it to. And just the act. Now, this is one thing I want you to think about right now. In order to bring something into our lives, we have to be involved in the process, and then miracles can occur. But if you're saying, I want a better body, the deepest of love, I want to write a great book, I want to host a radio show, I want a new career, I want to move to the beaches, whatever it is, if you have that goal, that dream, and you're not doing something on a daily basis to bring you there, it can be the smallest little act. It might take you 10 minutes a day to get closer to that body, or closer to the income, or closer to the lover that you're looking to attract into your life. If you don't slow down and figure out a plan and act on that plan on a daily basis, the odds of it happening are infinitesimally small. When people come to me and say, you know, I really want to write a book, I've got this great book, and I'll say, awesome, let me see your outline, or let me see a chapter, and they go, oh, it's all right here. That's not slowing down. Slowing down would be to start to write the outline, even if you don't know who you're going to send it to, even if you don't know the ending of the book. But you have to be in the process of it, and this is what happened to me, and this is where miracles can occur, when we slow down and start today to follow our passion, not waiting for that perfect day. And before I go into my story, let me give you an example. Lots of times people say, well, when the children leave the house, then I'll start saving money, losing weight, or whatever it might be. As soon as the holidays are over, I'll start doing this. As soon as. And what I'm saying is, no, we have to slow down and start going after that passion, that dream, that goal right now, where you are with what you have. That's the most crucial point that I hope you'll take away today. Whatever your biggest passion is, write it on paper. Whatever your biggest goal is, write it on paper. Whatever your biggest dream and desire is, write it on paper. And then start to go after it. So around 2000, I had this idea about the next book, and I had no idea who was going to publish it. I had no idea. I'd never written a novel. It's a spiritual novel, and I had never written a novel before. So I started writing it, and I was out in Hawaii, of all places, on a speaking at a convention, and this idea came to me. And I started just jotting notes down. And that's the way I always do my books. I'll just start writing little notes and put them in a file folder. I still write longhand. Yes, I do. and so I started putting it together. And then all of a sudden the book started to come together. And then I'm writing a chapter, and then I'm writing another chapter. And before you know it, and I'm waking up every day with the intention, putting out to the universe, saying, you know what, God, I would love to work with a great publisher. I would love to have this book published by someone who's really awesome, a publisher in the work of inspiration that will look at this message that comes through this book and be able to share it with the world and make the biggest difference in the world. And I was living in Gainesville, Florida at the time, and I remember I was doing all kinds of different things, but this was like a big focus, and I'd get up every day and I'd say the same intention. Now wait till you hear what happens next. Probably 30 days into this intention, writing every day, putting the intention out, writing, I get a phone call from out of the blue from a guy named Danny Levin with Hay House Publishing. And I pick up the phone, and he said, is this David? I said, yes. He said, this is Danny Levin from Hay House. You don't know who I am, but do you know who Hay House is? And I said, oh my gosh, yes, Louise Hay. I followed her work for years, and what an amazing success story. I think she was like 60 when she started her publishing company, and now, you know, this is 10 years ago, it's like this huge monstrosity of a self-help inspirational book publishing company. So now we're going back several years, and he said, well, you know, we'd like to offer you a book contract. and my jaw dropped. And I said, I'm sorry, what'd you say? He goes, I know, this never happens. He said, usually authors come to us, but what we did was we got a roundtable discussion with some of our best authors, and we asked who they thought was up and coming, who would be a rising author, and your name came up so many times that we want to offer you a deal right now. And ladies and gentlemen, I couldn't believe it. I'm sitting there thinking back of the last several months and the last year of me getting up every day and just writing a small amount with my book, and then putting the intention out there, asking God or the universe to bring to me like the best fit, the best publishing fit. And I hadn't even gone out and started searching for anyone yet because the book wasn't at a place that I really wanted to share it. So anyway, Danny is saying all this stuff and my mind is just like scrambled. He said, this is quite a surprise, isn't it? I go, yeah, this is called a miracle. He said, absolutely, this is a miracle. Like I said, David, we don't normally go out after authors, but in this case, we want to make a deal. So I'm going to hang up the phone, he says, and I want you to think tonight about it. I'm going to fax through the contract. If you want to do it, we need to have an answer in 24 hours, and we need to know the name of your book. So I was so excited. As you can imagine, I couldn't even sleep that night. And the next day I'd get up and I got the contract and went through it and had a friend of mine, an attorney, look at it, and everything looked great. Signed it, faxed it back, the initial contract anyway, signed it back and sent it back. And then, we talked that afternoon. And he said, okay, do you have any ideas? And I go, yes, I just am in the process of finishing this book, and this is the name of it, and it's a spiritual book, but it's a novel. And he listened for a second. He goes, nope, that's not it. I said, what do you mean, Danny? I'm almost done with the book. He goes, nah, that's not what we're looking for. Give me another idea. I'm sitting there going, oh my gosh, I just shot my best shot and it failed. Now what am I going to do? So we talked for a little bit. He goes, before we hang up today, we need to know the title of your book. And I said, okay, well, let me think. And then he goes, what do you tell people when your clients come in, your coaching clients come in and sit down, or they call you on the phone? Like, what are the words that you use? And then it came to me. I said, well, the very first thing I usually say after we talk for about 20, 30 minutes is I said, okay, let's slow down. Let's slow down and look at the one area of your life that needs the most assistance. Let's not go after all these goals, 6, 7 things you want to change in your life. Let's slow down and focus on one. All of a sudden, Danny goes, that's it. I go, what? He goes, that's the name of your book, Slow Down. I said, you're kidding me, that's that easy? He goes, well, not always, but it is right now, so let's grab it. I said, okay. Then he goes, keep talking to me as if I'm a client. So eventually we got to the point where I said, well, what I share with them is that if they're willing to slow down, it will unbelievably be the fastest way to get everything they want if they slow down and focus on just one goal at a time. He goes, that's it. The fastest way to get everything you want. Okay, so we have the name of your book, start writing it. And I almost died, ladies and gentlemen. I couldn't believe it. Like, what a miracle. What a miracle had happened that from out of the blue, seemingly, this phone call comes from a publisher. From out of the blue, in 24 hours, I have a contract for 3 books. From out of the blue, out of the blue, out of the blue. But was it really? If we back up, and this is a principle that I share with you now, and I ask everyone to share, there really isn't anything that happens from out of the blue, right? It was the fact that we sat down, and I sat down months before I got this phone call, continued to write even though I didn't have a contract, and that's what I'm going to encourage you to do. If you want to see a miracle in your life, start acting now, moving yourself towards that path and that miracle that you want to see without it ever coming into fruition. If you're looking for a great relationship, and I kid you not, get online, join a dating site, let your friends know. In other words, get active. Like, don't sit back and say, well, if God wants me to be with someone great, then they'll bring them into my house. The odds of that are pretty small. My personal opinion is God saying, come halfway with me. You do your work, I'll do mine, we'll make it a miracle. And that's how miracles happen. Start going to the gym. Get up at 6 and walk for a half an hour. In other words, whatever your dream is, slow down, focus on it, and start moving towards it. Because what's happened to me has happened to millions of other people in their lives as well. Please slow down, focus, and start acting today, every day of the week. A small amount of action could lead to a huge payoff. Maybe the miracle phone call from a publisher saying, we want you. If I can help you in any way whatsoever, talkdavid.com. We've got hundreds of blogs, tons of YouTube videos, all kinds of free information at talkdavid.com, as well as our weekly wake up that we send out an email with motivational tips, etc. And if I can help you personally, slow down to find your dream, to create your dream, contact me, talkdavid.com. Slow down. Have a beautiful day. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.